All right, guys, in today's video, we're talking about how you can start your downswing like a pro golfer. And in my experience coaching, there's three huge keys here that you need to have. And if you don't have all three of them, you're going to struggle with your ball striking. Number one that's important is having your weight forward. Number two is having your shoulder down. And number three is having your arms straight. Weight forward, shoulder down, arm straight. If you can do those through the ball, you're gonna have success day to day. I wanna show you each one of those, why they're important, how you can put those in your own swing. We'd like to thank Element for sponsoring today's video. To perform at your physical best every single day, proper hydration is key. Drinking water and using a regular electrolyte replacement needs to be a part of your regular golfing preparation. Element is a drink that replaces essential electrolytes without sugar, coloring, gluten, or artificial ingredients. It contains a science-backed electrolyte ratio, 1,000 milligrams sodium, 200 milligrams potassium, 60 milligrams magnesium, formulated to help anyone with their electrolyte needs. Right now, Element is offering my viewers a sample pack with any order. That's 8 single-serving packets free with any Element order. This is a great way to try all 8 flavors or share Element with a friend. And now the new Element Chocolate Medley features chocolate mint, chocolate chai, and chocolate raspberry, and is designed to be enjoyed hot. The Element Chocolate Medley is available for a limited time. You can get yours at drinkelement.com/ecgolf, and the deal is only available through this link. To perform at your physical best every single day, proper hydration is key. All right, guys, so how do we start the downswing like a pro golfer? We gotta hit all three of those key parts. You know, as I look back upon my coaching career, Andy Plummer wrote the book about stack and tilt, and he talked about weight forward, shoulder down, arm straight, and I always took that to be backswing related, right, when I was reading that. But in fact, those same principles apply on the way through. In fact, if we look at any good golfer through the ball, they're gonna have those three things. During the downswing, they're gonna have their weight shifting forward, they're gonna have their trail shoulder down, and they're gonna have their arms straight. Now, I want you to have those in your swing, and I wanna guide you through step by step how I worked with a recent student on this who literally in like 10 minutes of doing this, completely transformed his consistency of solidness of contact. Let's start with weight forward. Okay, so weight forward, and the beauty of this when I was working with my students, you can do this all simply at home or on the range. Just grab a secondary club. So the club you're gonna use and a second club. Now, weight forward, what I want to reference is where your belt buckle or center of hips are relative to the club on the ground. And the club on the ground is going to be in line with the golf ball, so your ball position. So I've got a 7-iron here, that club and that ball will be just forward of center, kind of off my left eye, left ear, and my belt buckle should sit either right on that or just behind that at setup. Now, the key is throughout the downswing, and we'll show you a good model swing on the screen here, this belt buckle during your downswing needs to move forward towards the target. This belt buckle or center of your hips needs to feel like it's moving forward towards your left ankle. Now, of course, it's also turning towards the target, but in the beginning, what I want you to feel is the forward motion. It's gotta move forward on the way down. And you can see with the model swing on there, that's really happening from the top of the backswing throughout the entire downswing. Okay, to the point where I get the impact, that hip is up over the lead ankle. Now, weight forward is important for 2 specific reasons. Number one, and most importantly, when I get my weight more forward, that helps the club head strike more forward, my low point more forward. That means what? That means I'm gonna hit the ball first, ground second. So it helps me with consistent, solid contact. When my weight stays back during the downswing, where does the low point of my swing go? Back here behind the ball, right? Too much hanging back. That's like issue number one I see with a lot of players and the student I had that day. So the weight's got to go forward for solid contact. And all the pros are going to do this, right, when they start down. The second thing is as my weight goes forward, that helps the club come from inside. So it helps shallow the club and get the club head from inside. When my weight hangs back, that club head's going to be too steep and outside. So if you're someone who struggles with contact, fats and thins, you hit pulls and fades, check the weight distribution, put the club in line with the golf ball. This is what I did with my student. And I've got a 7-iron here, and we started short and small, but feel your belt buckle or hips pushing forward of that right away when I go down. Let me go ahead and hit one like that, weight forward. And that should be piece number one with consistent solid contact, ball first, ground second, and swinging from inside. Now, can I have my weight forward and have some other pieces off of my swing? Absolutely, which brings us to the second point, which is shoulder down. Let's dive into that next. Okay, so once we get our weight shifting forward, right, and we can spend as much time on that as needed, but once we get a feel for that piece number one, the second piece is the shoulder tilt. Now, hanging back too much, right, is the bad weight distribution version. And the bad that I see in terms of the shoulder tilt is that during the downswing, my student, and maybe you, the second issue is standing up through impact, right? Maybe you've seen that with your swing or someone you play with. That causes all kinds of contact and consistency issue. Well, how you fix standing up through impact is with side bend and rotation. Now you can simplify that into shoulder down, okay? So part number one, let's put that list back up. To hit it solid like the pros, we need weight forward, number one. We need shoulder down, number two, and we need arms straight, number three. So to get rid of this standing up, to keep our body the same distance away from our ground on the way through for consistency of solid contact like the pros, we can solve that with the shoulder down. So I've still got the secondary club in line with the golf ball. Now I want you to take this club and put it across your shoulders, okay? And I can have the club head over here to the right. Now, as my belt buckle is moving forward over my left ankle like this and moving towards the target this way, towards the target with some turn, now I'm gonna feel this club head and this shoulder work forward and down. Now, I like to, and what I do with my student, is feel like this club head literally gets behind the golf ball. Now that's a little bit exaggerated, okay? In reality, the shoulders aren't gonna turn level like this. This will be me standing up. They're also not gonna turn way down towards the ground like this for most of you. You're not gonna be capable of doing that. We're just trying to go in between those two, the two of those. So the club head can go a little bit outside the golf ball, but it needs to go forward, okay? Down and forward. So even here, where it's above the ball, notice my shoulders are tilted down, right? And my hips are forward. Shoulder down, weight forward, shoulder down, tomato, tomato. You can say this every while. So now as I'm hitting, as I'm practicing, I want to feel my belt buckle forward of the club on the ground, and I want to feel my shoulder working down and through. The shoulder down helps keep my inclination to the ground, helps me make sure I strike the ground in general. It also helps me swing the club from inside, the same benefits as the weight forward. So as my hips are going forward, I want my belt buckle forward of the club on the ground, and I want my shoulder down. Weight forward, shoulder down. Notice even when I'm swinging through, my shoulder stays pointed down towards the ground slightly, and even my right ear is down towards my shoulder. I'm tilted over. I'm not gonna stand up through the hit, right? How many pros do you see that have that move through impact where they've got that big early extension and they're standing up? You don't see that at all. You see them maintaining their posture, and you can do that through shoulder down. So those are the first two pieces that I want you to feel in here. And again, like when I was working with my student, you can use this as a drill to have the club over here just as a reference, but you're feeling a little bit of side crunch. I feel like my right shoulder is getting a little closer to my right hip, almost like I'm doing a little right side oblique crunch. Now, as I'm doing that, where are my hips going? Forward, right? My hips are pushing forward up over my ankle. Now also notice my head, like as I was working through my student with the details, you want to get this perfect. As my hips go forward and my shoulder goes down, my hips or belt buckle go forward of the club on the ground, but my head stays back over it. Hips forward, shoulder down, head back. Hips going forward helps move my low point forward so I don't hit behind the ball. Shoulder down keeps my body's inclination to the ground so I can hit the ground in the first place. And both of those help swing the club from inside. Okay, all things that I want to have. So hips pushing forward, shoulder down towards the ground. And those are two really solid little draw shots. So hips forward, shoulder down, that helps fixing hang back, that helps fixing standing up. But there's a third big one that comes in that causes problems, which is the arms over folding, which brings us to arm straight, part number 3. Okay, piece number 3, like the student I had, he had the trifecta, right? He had the weight back, standing up, and the arms bent. All three big ones we don't want. What do the pros have? Weight forward, shoulder down, arms straight. Now, as a reference point, I like to see the arms straight at about this, 45 degrees past impact point. We can put someone on the screen here to mirror this. So the club's kind of back at the body, the arms are straight here. Now, going along with all you need is a club on the ground theme. Once I got my weight forward and the shoulder down and we're practicing just arms straight, I've got a club on the ground where the club head itself is about two yards. So 2 full paces in front of the golf ball. Now in the beginning when I'm teaching arms straight, I want the player to try and have the arms straight by the time the club head points at that club on the ground, about 2 full yards in front of you, from the player perspective. Because what happens is every time I tell someone to strike the ground and stop there, once you add the body motions in, it gets to about arms parallel to the ground, which is in reality where we want to check that arm straight position. So in the beginning, what I like to do is separate the arm straight practice by itself and then bring it back in to include it with the body motions, okay? So what I like to see here first, again, you can have an object or put a ball 2 yards in front of the golf ball you have on the ground. And what I want to see you do is make a little backswing and hit the ground and get to the point where the club head points at that club head in front of you and both of the arms are dead straight. Now notice as I'm doing that, where my hips and weight go? Forward, right? Notice as I'm doing that, where'd my shoulder go? Down. And that should be easy for you to do with no golf ball. The trick is, and for my student, he did this. He's like, okay, yeah, this is easy, dude. This is easy. We put a ball in, what happened? Back to the normal. So we have to exaggerate here. But I bet when I try and stop at that club head with a ball, I'm gonna go farther, and that's the point. So arms straight, object 2 yards in front, feel the arm straightening to that point. Now notice as I come through, my lead arm is relatively straight basically the whole time. That's not the arm I need to straighten. It's my trail arm that's significantly bent that needs to straighten. Should I straighten it by impact? No. When should I straighten it? By about 45 past impact. So you want to get this right arm punching, get the club hitting the ground, and get the club head to that point. So I'm going to do one with a ball. So you can see here, if I just isolate that arm straight piece and let that right arm punch. Now notice I tried to stop at the club on the ground. Where'd I actually go? Arms parallel to the ground, right? It's like I've done this before. And that's what's gonna happen to you. So you're gonna feel like you stop there. You ain't gonna. You're gonna go to arms parallel to the ground, and that's fine. Now, once I did a couple of these with this guy, again, this is a 60-minute lesson, we start to blend these together, okay? So we said, hey, clubs on the ground, let's show again a model on the screen. Let's get our belt buckle moving forward. As the belt buckle's forward, the shoulders where? Down. As the shoulders down, where does the head stay? Back over the club, okay? Is this too much at one time? No. This is what pro golfers do. If you want to hit it like them, we have to do the same thing. Okay, hips forward, shoulder down, arms straight. And once we get into our practice, we would start with about left arm parallel, 3/4 backswings to arm straight in the follow through and hit those 3 pieces. Weight forward, shoulder down, arm straight. And that's how I'm going to do the majority of my practice. Now notice my finish position. My arms are straight out here. My hips are pushed over forward towards my foot and my body's still tilted over. So I know I didn't hang back, I didn't stand up, and I didn't do the chicken wing through the hip. Right? I want to hit all 3 of those. And once I get used to doing that and you're practicing and you can do it pretty easily from that spot, right? Once I can do that, weight forward, belt buckle of the club on the ground, shoulders down, arms are straight. Once I can do that and stop here and demonstrate that over and over and over, A, I could play golf like that. B, that could be my 3/4 iron shot. C, all I do from there is wrap that above my head. Right? People ask me all the time, Eric, how do I go from there to the finish? Let my arms fold. Get the club head behind my neck. So I feel like I'm still pushing my weight forward. I'm still pushing my shoulder down. I'm still getting through this position, but then the arms fold and the club rehinges over the back part of my neck. So take that same feel and put that into a full swing. Weight forward, shoulder down, arm straight. Have you heard that before? And then I take that just into my full finish position. So solidness of contact, those 3 things. Lots of things to do in a golf swing, but those are non-negotiable during the downswing. Put them on the screen one more time. Weight forward, shoulder down, arm straight. Any questions at all like this, leave me a comment down below.